Ah, that horrid sound of plovers. It's quite an intimidating sound, isn't it? The trick with dealing with plovers is not taking your eyes off them. Because if they can see that you're not looking at them, they will come at you. Wow. Wow. So what they do because they have two of them, very often they will come around behind you, and one will come from one direction and the other will come from the other, which is what's happening right now. There's one above me. So they will have a nest in here. And if you listened to the one with Chang the other week, and I said to him, have you ever been attacked by plovers? At the end of that thing, I said, now there's one right behind me and there's one in front of me. I'm trying to keep my eye on both of them. Here's one over here. Here he comes. One of them's male, one of them's female, who knows which. I said in that video that they're stupid birds. The reason I said that was not to disparage them significantly, but they build their nests on the ground. So somewhere in this area here, there is a nest, and they're trying to protect it by scaring the living daylights out of me and getting me to go away. But I have passed their nest, so I'm good. G'day, I'm Roland Hearn, and this is a walk in the garden. Way back in the beginning of my walk in the garden, I walked in the space where I am now. And I did talk about it a little bit in that video, but the video ended up being so long I had to edit down all the little explanation pieces, and so I thought I would come back here and do another video. It's such a beautiful spot and it's a gorgeous day that that this seems appropriate. So I guess it's about 100 meters from our home down to this little park area that wanders over through a manicured or cared for area and then into a bushland space. And when we walk through this space, we can, particularly in the evenings, we can very often see wallabies and western grey kangaroos. So this is a really beautiful area. By the way, I spoke with Chang during the week, and life is catching up with him at the moment. So we decided to just put our working together on hold for a few weeks, give him some space to breathe. But that's life, and that's what this walk in the garden is all about. So as soon as we can get back together and get to work on that recording that song, we definitely will. Today I decided I'd finish off looking at those 5 components of love. You remember what they are? Trust, safety, vulnerability, affirmation, and belonging. The beginning of this video series, I laid a threefold foundation for us to take this journey on, and it was that love and worth are two sides of the same coin, that that the search for meaning is a search for worth. And the third one, and now I can't remember exactly how I said it, I will put it here on the video, so there's some consistency in the way I'm saying, but it's basically the idea that shame is the obstacle to the discovery of worth. But if you look at those 5 components and you think through the things that I've been talking about, you'll notice that there's a triangular connectedness between those 5 things and these 3 the 3 foundational ideas, but there are also 3 pieces to this puzzle. This is almost getting like a maths lesson, isn't it? So there's a triangular connection between love, identity, and worth. And if you filter each of those 5 ideas through that triangular construct, love, identity, and worth, you will see that each of those 5 things applies to all of those areas: love, identity, and worth. And it's as you begin to find that synergy and that connectedness that all of this starts to come together in a genuine way of processing life. I began this video journey with a confession about my own personal struggles, and working with the idea of despair with regards to the COVID crisis. To be honest, while there's been a lot of improvement, certainly in the area in which I live, in terms of how we respond to that, the reality is it hasn't gone away, and there are definitely still limitations upon our lives, and room to continue to feel that struggle. But I have, as a result of deliberately trying to work through these ideas that I've been talking about, rediscovered, or at least worked out, how to apply them to this process. And it's been a really, really helpful journey for me. So let's have a look at this final one, this idea of belonging. And it's that reason that I decided to come down to this little area once again, and here we are in this bushland area. Can you see over my shoulder the mix between the gum forest, the eucalyptus forest, and the fern trees running along the creek? It's quite pretty, isn't it? Beautiful. I love it. So the reason I decided to do this is this is the space that I belong. This is home for me. I've lived in different places in the world, and I've only lived here where I am now for about 2 years, but I've lived in the general vicinity of Brisbane for most of my life, except for a total of, let's see, let me do some quick calculations here, about 16 or 17 years. Outside of that, most of it has all been in the context of the Brisbane area. So this is home. And having moved up to Morayfield and established a home here, this whole area is increasingly becoming home. I feel like I belong. Have you ever thought about the idea of belonging? So when we belong, it says to us, you're valuable. It also frames our identity. Very difficult for us to escape the impact upon our sense of who we are from the things and places to which we belong. Not just geographically, but families, nations, clubs, ideas, all of these things to which we belong shape our sense of who we are and our identity. Most of us have known dysfunctional places in our lives, and we probably belonged to those dysfunctional places. And so if we're going to take this walk in the garden, working out the things that define my identity are incredibly significant. They're incredibly important. And this is why slotting this in the space of love becomes so important to us. When we love somebody, what we really desperately need to do is help them understand that they belong to us. But there is this commitment in love to another human being, saying to them, you belong. And saying it because we love them. And in doing that, we have deliberately made a choice to value them, and whether we know it or not, we have joined in the journey of helping them to discover their identity. So belonging becomes an incredibly important part of the walking in the garden. Helping other people to belong is vitally important. But it is super important for us to think through the things to which we actually understand within ourselves that we belong to. It becomes this vitally important question. To whom or to where do we belong? It's an identity question. If we find answers to that question, we will find the places that give us a sense of worth. Let me just quickly say, you may belong to things that don't help you feel valuable. Asking those questions help us to make the changes that we need to make in order to keep walking in the garden. So do that, will you? Ask yourself those questions, and let's keep walking in the garden together, shall we? Until next week. See you then.